are live. Well, not exactly live for you there, but we are live at the moment.
I'm
here
alive.
At LAFC's Performance Center, our favorite place to be, right?
Yeah.
We love it here. Inside LAFC, Max and Vince podcast. Max Bretos, Vince LaRosa. Just saw training, and we obviously can't talk too much about it, but we can say this.
I can. Here's what happened.
Here's what happened. The spirits of this squad is always at a consistent high. They're joking with each other. They enjoy each other's company. They get the most out of training. It's great to see. Yes, the season hasn't gone well, but the reason I bring that up because I've been at many trainings, and you can sense a team that is laboring and a team that may have checked out. You don't sense that at all here.
Yeah, they walked off the pitch, and they were actually having a great time, joking with each other.
They were screaming in the locker room a few seconds ago, playing music.
Yeah, they're playing 2v2 ping pong, I've heard in there.
Yes.
You made the comment like, oh, they like each other, and I flippantly said, like, of course they do, because...
And I go, that's not always the case.
You're right, that's not always the case, but to the people that are, watching them in their darkest moments, of course, right when they give up a goal, they're not exactly in their happiest moment, or when they lose a game, but like, otherwise, there's no reason to say, even just from watching matches, that these guys don't like each other.
Look, I've been at so many trainings, and without getting too far into it, you can sense, you'll see some guys over here. Sometimes it gets a bit clicky. Sometimes the message isn't getting across. Never have had that experience here. And the reason we're talking about that is we're pushing it season within a season. Hashtag that sucker.
Within the season.
Within the season. I told you, it's too many words. Season within the season.
Does anybody even use hashtags anymore?
Season within the season. We're calling it these final 6 games as we ramp into the final stretch. We have some special guests joining us. That's why we're here. We will be talking to Jamal Blackman, who's just joined LAFC. He's already played a couple games. He is 6'7" tall. It says 6'6".
You add an inch there.
But I asked him. He says it's 6'7".
Because of the boots.
Tell me when you see him. He's 6'7".
Yeah,
That's a big man. Jordan
Everyone's
Harvey.
taller than me, though.
Jordan Harvey will also be joining us, and we will be talking about a great many things, including who is disrupting the locker room with their music.
Yeah, Jordan spilled a lot. You guys for all those people that think they know what's going on in the locker room, maybe you should listen to the Jordan Harvey interview and find out what actually is going on in the locker room.
Correct. So we'll get into all of that, but before we do, I want to just remind you why this podcast sets the tone for everything. Every time we talk about something, it starts to blow up. That's why you got to tell your friends, because you hear it here first. Case in point, I did my Paul McCartney impression out of the blue. Out of the blue.
Sir Paul called you?
No.
Oh.
Out of the blue, the big story, and quite frankly, I don't care about this story in 2021, nor should you. Out of the blue, he tells the media that it wasn't his idea to break up the Beatles. It was John and Yoko. He said John stepped away from the Beatles, obviously, and then
that was common knowledge.
Well, he just reinforced it because he listened to this pod.
Sir Paul.
Right, we get to see the players as they hit the hot tub.
Hi, Poncho.
Some interesting swim gear as well. So I just want to get that out as well. So I think that's fair.
How much do you hate Paul McCartney? Like on a scale of 1 to 10. You really don't like him. Wait, can I share that?
I do like him. It just bothers me with the guy didn't break up the Beatles. It was someone else. I'm not gonna bottom of the barrel. I'm not gonna mention any names.
But on your 5 people you'd want to punch in the face list, Paul is 1 or 2?
I'm not gonna say that either.
No, you're not gonna go that far. Sorry, Sir Paul.
Beatles overrated?
No.
But slightly, because they get all the credit. They get all the.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna go that far, but the music is thoroughly fantastic.
Didn't know we were going to go there. Yeah, I did. I did because I brought it up. I did. So.
It's better than us going on a Kraftwerk talk again.
No airplanes coming here at the Performance Center. You know what I think about airplanes, but I was really mesmerized.
You think a lot about airplanes, not very deeply, but you do.
I was going on on the 405.
Yeah, what is your thing today that amazes you that you don't understand how it works?
I was on the 405 and this airline, Philippines airline. I never seen it coming down, beautifully landing.
People do come here from the Philippines.
I never saw Philippines airline.
Okay.
I know there was one, but I got to see the jet. The internet, incredible. It is incredible what we do.
Max, do you have object permanence? I feel like when you close your eyes and things disappear, you wonder where they are.
I just think we take things for granted and we should not.
We definitely do.
I was looking for a software bit for my camera. I typed in a word, it had nothing to do with it, and it shot it out, and it was exactly the thing I was looking for. And I was like, internet. I also ordered an e-bike, an electric bike off the internet.
Why?
because there's this hill in Redondo that I have to go over to go to the beach, and I'm tired of biking over it.
Yeah, but you're the fitness guy, the Sunday run.
Well, I get my
with
own
the
run.
rugby
I
team
get
guy.
my own run.
You don't want to.
Go. If you could see some of these swimsuits.
Oh, Eddie Segura.
Eddie Segura, looking good. How you feeling? Good, great. It's good to see you. How's the little one? We're good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Eddie.
If we knew Eddie, we'd have got him in there.
Such a
He's
nice
walking
guy.
around.
Well, he was at our 110 football FIFA challenge, so.
Yes. Yeah. But get back to
Little teaser there.
Get back to the bike.
Okay.
Heath Pierce has said it would change your life, and now I can, instead of getting into my car.
Now, Heath Pierce is on the e-bike thing?
Heath Pierce
Guys,
is also
ride your
in
bikes.
Redondo.
The point of bikes is to ride them.
No.
Get a motorcycle.
Okay, but this will take the place of the car. So I will leave the car, and I'll use the e-bike to go to the gym, do those quick runs to the grocery.
This is another thing you've been on about for like the past 6 months, how you want to get rid of your car and just get a beater car. Still has not happened.
I can't buy cars now, so I'm stuck with what I have, which I enjoy, but it's...
I drive down the 405 to go home to Long Beach from Burbank all the time, and there's millions of cars on the lots. What are they talking about? They're right there.
By the way...
Just get in one. I hear they're giving them away.
So we keep hearing about the...
I'm just trying to throw you off every time you restart.
Well, I have a good reset. Everyone's saying we're going to have a shortage of stuff, and you can see the boats out in San Pedro and in Long Beach. They go for miles. There's a lot of COVID testing has to be taking place. Those things carry so much stuff. And if there's a kid under the age of 15...
Are you wondering how boats work now?
No. If there's a kid under the age of 15, get them out of the room now. I'll give you 10 seconds. If there's 15 is the safe bet. We're going to get them out of the room. Tell them to leave so we can continue the podcast for 30 seconds. This shortage during the holiday season, I feel more kids are going to stop believing in Santa Claus than ever before.
You heard it here first. Max Bredos is going to blame Joe Biden for kids not believing in Santa Claus.
I didn't blame Joe Biden. I'm just saying the law.
Yeah, but you were going
It's
there.
COVID.
It was
No,
implied.
it's COVID.
You were
COVID
going
has
there.
caused a shortage across the board.
You know,
Supply chains can't get it. And now they're going to go, wait, I got this. And they're going to go, son, Santa couldn't make it this year.
we're going to get back into the season within the season, but before we do, I will take us on one more rant. You know what I love about being back at the Performance Center? Is this camera that's set up right here is set up by Lauren Terry.
Lauren
who
Terry.
has nightmares of having to corral you and I to do keys to the match during that 2019 season. And I'm sure she's just loving the fact that, like, we've done, 10 minutes of not the podcast to start the podcast.
Okay. So season within the season. Check out my keys to the match Saturday at San Jose, and don't boo
I
it
hear
when it
they're
comes on the big
garbage.
screen.
Do they boo your keys to the match?
They don't pay attention.
They should.
They don't pay attention. They don't watch. It's good because you can see how the game's
Well,
going to go.
when you don't have Vince's keys to the match, you mean
Season within the season.
minus version.
Season within the season.
Season within the season. 6 games.
6 games.
18 points on offer.
There are 6 teams battling. Portland, that ship has sailed. They're going to finish at no worse than 4.
Yeah, we're talking about the 5, 6, and 7 spots here.
5, 6, and 7 makes the playoffs. 8, 9, and 10 are still in the chase. 5, Real Salt Lake 39, Galaxy has 39, Minnesota 38, Vancouver 37, LAFC 34, San Jose 33. Those last 2 play each other Saturday.
And we got some real solids during the internet.
We got incredible solids. I will say the biggest result, all 6 of those teams, it's 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All 6 of those teams, 6 is the magic number, 666, 6, the number of the beast. So all 6 of them have 3 at home, 3 away.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota was at home, had a man advantage. We're up a goal.
Up a goal. Blew it.
And Colorado came and scored 3.
Secret agent Tyler Miller.
What get that? So that really wrecked Minnesota. Minnesota plays LAFC in the stretch run.
Important game.
I had a great time. So everyone here should be at least just check the scoreboard. You don't have to watch the games, but watch the games. Let's support Major League Soccer as well. But all these teams, by and large, will be playing each other. You have the spoilers: Seattle, Sporting, Portland, Colorado. Colorado already did some spoiling.
Yep.
And this is going to change. I get the feeling that Minnesota-Colorado result could be the doorway in, because they were supposed to win that. That was 3 points, bank them, and they got 0.
They had almost
At home.
What was crazy is they went up a man and had almost no chances even. Like they just
Just to go to show. I mean, these
like
teams.
at some point, Adrian Heath had to have walked to the sideline and go, guys, do you understand what is happening here? Like, do you understand the points that we need and the incredible opportunity in front of us? And
Final game of the season. There's the airplane doing the big turn. landing in LAX. Oh, Will Walsh told me, he goes, they're actually landing in LAX. They're not taking off across the Pacific, but they're the big jets. So LA Galaxy, who have been laboring, very tricky season to stretch to run in here. I don't want to talk too much about the clubs, but I think it sets up the LAFC discussion. And they have Minnesota on the final match day, which
that's going to be.
There's not going to be room for both of them.
Yeah, not going to be. I mean, look, I looked back and it's crazy to say this. There hasn't been a season where it's been a normal season in quite a while. But in 2019 and 2018, the 7th team in the West, 48 points. So you look at LAFC, 34 points. I mean, 14 from those 18.
So 4 wins, 2 ties.
And I don't like to give Max Bretto's credit much, but after the Galaxy game, you said, I think we need 14 points and we're in. And I think you're right.
I think we can get there on 13 points.
On 13? Oh, now you're because of the way the results broke for us?
Because I'm looking at the schedules, and look, there's flaws here. All these teams are in a similar situation of LAFC. If LAFC can flick the switch somewhat, and we'll know a lot about it on Saturday, not to a 2019 level. And there are indicators here that the band is getting back together in some ways, and we'll have the internationals back. Brian Rodriguez, we're recording this before their 3rd Uruguayan qualifier. But he's played all 5 qualifiers in September and October.
Started both in this window.
So he could be a bit leggy. Uruguay got beat up by Argentina in the last game, but Uruguay looks like it's heading to the World Cup. Cheeky hasn't played for Ecuador, and then Sifu and Kim Moon-Hwan
Bad result against Venezuela.
Bad result against Venezuela. Although I think if you look at South America, Brazil's going to qualify here very soon. Argentina too, and then Uruguay, Ecuador, and Colombia in that order. I think those are the 5, and there's a gap. So those 5 should be.
There's a big gap.
So that's good for our players. They'll be probably playing in the World Cup next year. So those guys are coming back. Everything here, getting healthy, not across the board. It's not 100% health. But I look at, Real Salt Lake can't win on the road. The Galaxy are struggling. Minnesota's now struggling. There's an opportunity. You don't have to win all these games, but you can certainly get.
Regardless if it's 13 or 14 points, it means you have to win 4 matches. So we're saying you need at least 4 wins, 4 out of the 6, which LAFC hasn't been able to put that kind of consistency together yet. Hopefully Carlos Vela plays a part in most of those 6 matches. What I'm looking at is, not only do you need to win those 4, but if you do drop points, you can't be dropping it against the San Joses, the Vancouvers. You can't be dropping against the people you're directly.
Got to win all 3 home games.
You play Seattle, you play Colorado. You don't want to lose to those teams and you don't want to drop points to those teams. But if you're going to, you want it to be those games. You need to take maximum points from the teams that were in and around.
And those the home games are San Jose, Vancouver, and Seattle. Road games, Colorado. There's challenges there, certainly playing in the Mountain Time Zone.
Final match of the season, Colorado.
Final match of the season. We don't know how Colorado's going to be. I'm pretty sure they're going to be playing for something.
Well, what's interesting is one of the teams that, if you were going to drop points, it would be Dallas in midweek because, it's not really going to help them all that much. But you can't drop points against Dallas. Yeah. You need those points.
Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota are the road games.
Yes.
These first 2 are just
pivotal.
And I think you got to get that down there so you can get the 6 points and say, and by the way, if you get 6 points in those 2, you're going to look at the standings and you're not going to be in 9th. You'll probably be in the playoff positions.
You might jump. If you get 6 points in these next 2, you might be ahead of Minnesota, who you'll play that following weekend. You might be ahead of the Galaxy.
Vancouver?
You'd probably definitely be ahead
Vancouver's
of
another one, very good at home, labors on the road a bit.
And has a tough stretch if we were there going to play as well.
I'm excited about the prospects. I just hope that they can turn the page and say, all right, we got this result. Remember the San Jose game. By the way, get out and get your tickets. You have 3 opportunities for home games.
It might be your only 3, too, because as we're talking, we're saying that the ship has sailed on 1 through 4. So no home game in the first round. Might be your only chance to see this team for the rest of the season.
5 is attainable, and look, 5 could get you a home game somewhere down there if 6 and 7 pull surprises there, which is obviously a big ask. But there is a precedent. And we have a nice little video treatment coming out about teams making the playoffs on the back end and not only doing well in the playoffs, but making MLS Cup and or winning MLS Cup with very average seasons.
Well, yeah. Trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if they do put the type of run together that they need to in order to get in, they'll be hot at the best time. It seems like Seattle have proven this. You can put a nice little run together at the end of the season and be on form and be healthy. You can really do some damage regardless of what position in the standings you are.
Yes, health is a big issue, but I think Seattle, they've been so excellent in regular seasons. Never really at the top, but I think their most mediocre regular season was the year they went on to win MLS Cup.
Never missed the playoffs, but never won a Supporters' Shield.
Never won a Supporters' Shield. And what do they have? 3. They have 3 MLS Cups. 2. 2 MLS Cups. Keep it at there, Seattle. Chill out.
Yeah.
Great franchise, though. You got to give them a lot of credit. But they did it a certain way, and they were consistent about it. But now that consistency is here, and getting healthy is a big part of it. We know they've struggled with San Jose this season. Granted, those 2 teams
and last
were
season.
Away.
It's weird how it's been an actual split down the middle. We dominated them for the first 2 years, then a little bit of flip of the script as of lately.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, we still have a better goal differential against them, which is great.
I was going to say the goal differential, which will play a role in
it'll be important. Yep.
The best goal differential right now of those 6 teams, RSL has a +1. LAFC has a -1, which is very telling when you have a team that's struggling. They're right 500.
Yeah.
And then the other teams are very poor. I think the Galaxy's -6. Minnesota's -4. Goal differential plays in favor of LAFC. We're just looking at all the data and to see where LAFC has an advantage. Got to get the results, but they have advantages here and there.
Should not be negative goal differential as a playoff team.
Right.
That's weird.
So that big week is huge. That first week is very huge. It's going to be basically, I think, it was 6 games in 23 days.
6 games in 23 days.
So just over 3 weeks.
It's a real sprint to the finish.
You've been able to get some wind in your sails here, and they'll be able to do it. So did we explain that well enough?
I think we laid it out there. So we're saying you need at least 4 wins. I'm thinking if you're only going to get 4 wins, you probably got to get 4 wins and 2 draws. But you're thinking of 4 wins, a draw, and a loss, and you could still sneak in.
Yeah, 13
Okay.
points.
All right.
We're talking about it's forgiving.
48 for me is that magic number. So 14 points.
There's 3 playoff spots within reach. You are 5 points away from 5 and 6. You're 4 points away from 7. Nobody has a game in hand. Everyone has 6 games.
That's nice
remaining.
to at least finally get all on level terms because it's been excruciating watching those teams.
Right, and keep in mind, everyone's having the same conversation at these clubs. Go, let's fire it up.
Not as good as
6
this
games.
conversation, though. I'll tell you that.
And it's going to get even better. We're going to be joined by Jordan Harvey, some incredible insight of a player who's also part coach with LAFC these days, and also Jamal Blackman will get his thoughts on transitioning from England here to Major League Soccer. He's been here before, incredible stories to tell of his days as in Chelsea, behind some big-name keepers. This is Inside LAFC, the Max and Vince podcast. You want to send it home?
No, I'm seeing Gage out there do the field, and after my Hire Vince segment, I feel like I should go out there before we get to our interview. So I'm just gonna hop off.
All right. So subscribe, rate, review, and share. Let's get it going. 6 games, baby. Back here at the LAFC Performance Center, thrilled to be joined by Jordan Harvey. I'm actually thrilled to start this interview because for the last 10 minutes, Vince and Jordan were waxing poetic about restaurants in Long Beach, which was, for someone who doesn't know about the restaurants, was a little annoying, but now I'm hungry as well.
We live in Redondo, and you guys have a horrible restaurant scene.
Wow. But that is accurate.
And it's over. Thanks for joining.
Actually, also, if you go on Artesia, and I have not frequented any of them, and I apologize, I don't want, but we gotta upgrade the bars on Artesia. They're a little.
You don't frequent these places.
I do. I've not set foot in one of them because.
Wait, no. I feel
terrifying.
like you've told Max. I think has told a story of going into one of those bars, and it was a punk rock bar, and you went in there and almost got in a fight with somebody. I think I remember.
Oh, that's on Aviation
on the podcast. Oh, sorry.
I won't say the name, but
the other bars that Max frequents.
I don't go to bars. That's why when you guys were talking about restaurants, I don't go out at all.
I don't go to bars ever.
Jordan, I feel like
Incognito maybe once in a while.
No.
we used to see you all the time. We used to hang out all the time. We haven't seen you in forever, so it's good to finally hang out with you a little bit there.
Yeah, I've been MIA, so not on the playing field. So I feel like kind of in the dark over here.
Not on the playing field, not in the podcast space. Like
no, the podcast. You guys took over that. You guys are doing such a great job.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Checks in the mail.
We'll get, yeah. But I got to say, when I see you or when I talk to players, your name comes up a lot from the coaches, the players, about how Jordan helped me this and that. And that seems to me, it doesn't seem to me, I know that that's an important position to have.
No, and I appreciate that. Because I'm not contributing much on the field this season, I'm trying to help out in other ways in different aspects. And so whether it be, talking to guys between exercises and training or at halftime of a game, or just in between, trying to give my 2 cents, give my experience, and try to help out where I can and contribute. It's been something that I've really enjoyed doing, and we have a young team, so there's a lot of work and a lot of things that we can do to help.
Well, that's why I specifically asked for you to be on the podcast, because most people would say, as you said,
wasn't the Long Beach restaurant chat?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I did want to chat with him about Long Beach restaurants.
Just wanted another conversation.
No, I don't want to do that anymore, because I always lose that conversation.
My doppelganger is Kenny Arena, for what it's worth.
Well,
so
oh,
we gotta,
hey.
So I know.
When are you going to get your ears
Yeah,
pierced?
then it'll happen.
I know, but when we talk soccer, you're always very open about talking football, and you don't shy away from it. But two, you're able to kind of put things in perspective. So if you could, just a little bit of this season in perspective for you.
Whew. I think it's been some ups and downs, and I think that comes with youth. I think, when you have an older group, they're more consistent, I think. But with this young group, there's so much talent, and it seems like a roller coaster at times. So you'll have good games, you'll have bad games, a lot to go over, a lot for the coaching staff, to help out with these young guys, and myself included. I try to do as much as I can. But, to put it all in perspective, it's been a tough season in that, with injuries, with, bringing guys into the fold, obviously guys leaving, and it's been tough. It really has. And I think the guys here have done a good job coming in every day and trying to learn from whatever mistakes or whatever tough games we've had, and then building on some of the good ones. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's all we can do, is just work towards that end goal. And now we're in a position right now where we're kind of fighting for that playoff spot, which we haven't been in the last few years. And so it's different for us in and around here. It feels different like that. But there is still hope, and there is still a lot of positivity and a lot of young players that you look at as kind of a bright future for LAFC, and that's how I look at it.
You said coming here and putting the best effort is all you can do, and I would disagree with that, because I think some people probably don't come in and say this is all we can do. They'll take an alternate plan, and as we said earlier in the pod, when I come here, you can sense that positive energy, and it's a choice in many ways collectively, because I see it, and you're like, this team still is heading towards there, and that has to be difficult at times, but you guys find a way to keep that collective and very high spirits.
Yeah, and it starts with Bob. Years in the past, we had a luxury of being very detailed, in that if there was a mistake on the field, we maybe won a game, but we could really correct the fine details. And in moving forward with this season, it's more so about the group and trying to stay positive. And each year has brought different circumstances and a different, way of looking at it from the coaching staff, from a player's perspective. Definitely for me, having different roles throughout each year that we've been a team. And I think at this point, it's about staying together, and that's something that we've really preached throughout the whole season, is just staying together. Because, when you're not doing so well, you hear a lot of pundits and a lot of opinions that really don't matter. And so staying
and
together.
Don't match.
And yeah, for sure.
We would like you to just call them out right here. Who are those people? No, I'm kidding.
Well, honestly, I've kind of tuned them out. I mean, maybe at the beginning of the season, you listen and you try to be open to different perspectives. And then at a certain point, you kind of just go, you know what? Nobody's on the inside. Nobody knows what's actually going on here. And so you kind of tune them out. And that's what I've done, and what I've kind of preached to a lot of the guys here, is just focus on what we can do day in, day out, and kind of let the rest just kind of fall to the side.
Good advice.
What are you telling them about being in a playoff race? Because like you said, there's a lot of guys that are young here that have probably never been in a playoff race, and then just guys that have been with LAFC, they're not really in a playoff race because you guys have been so good. But you've seen it from all sides, having been in the league. What kind of things are you talking to these guys with these next 6 games being so pivotal? Yeah,
you hit it on the head. I think I've been in a lot of different races with the Whitecaps, with Colorado. A lot of the teams, the success that LAFC has had is rare. And so, going into this year, We knew it was going to be difficult. And, now being in this playoff race, it's just about giving, it sounds silly, but like giving everything on every play. So whether it be, not switching off, staying compact. If it's a play that maybe you aren't sure if you're going to make it, just try your hardest to get back. Every play matters. And you try to do that throughout the course of the season, but when it comes down to these last 6 games and being in a playoff race, you have to treat each, again, very cliche, like it's a playoff game. And like, if you don't win this, it's over, because at the end of the day, we need, 3-4 wins to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so each game is just so important. And so going into each training session, each game with the utmost, concentration and effort and being tuned in, because the coaching staff gives us all the tools. They prepare for every sort of scenario, and, actually hearing that and then putting it on the field. That's obviously the hard part, but trying to do that each and every week.
What about the international break here, which essentially it was missing a couple guys, but is there a recharge kind of feeling about that, knowing that you have a window here to reset and focus on a target, 6 games?
Yeah, it's good and bad, because, you take a few days off, and you hope that coming back, we can just pick up where we left off in terms of concentration. And for me, I don't like a lot of time off. I'd rather just get back into the next game. I think we have a good group here in terms of the youth and like not needing an extended period of time off. But with that said, you get more time off, you possibly get a Carlos Vela back. So, it's kind of, you can look at it from different perspectives. But, the time off, I try to take it with stepping away, refocusing, and coming back in with a good energy. And I think that helps with the positivity.
You don't have to tip if he's going to play or not, but you do have a unique kind of perspective and window into a person like Carlos Vela, because I think we've learned over the years that you and him kind of just gel. I don't know what it is, your personalities, maybe because you're both family guys, and that kind of just fits with his personality. But give us a little bit of insight into where Carlos has been in going through his rehab and where he kind of is now.
Carlos, the credit I give Carlos is throughout ups and downs, whether it be injuries or, last year remaining with his family through COVID. This guy remains the same person through it all. And, whether he's having an MVP season or whether he's having a difficult season with injuries, he comes in every day with a positive attitude, and it helps. When somebody like that comes in with a positive attitude, struggling with an injury, everybody who's on the field needs to come in with a positive attitude. It's infectious. So, when he sets the standard when he's on the field, it's the same when he's off the field with his attitude and everything. So, when is he going to be back? That's day to day. I mean, that's so hard to tell, and I don't think he necessarily knows. It comes down to fitness. It comes down to, how he's feeling, setbacks and stuff like that. Injuries are so tough, man, and I've been really fortunate with my career not to have many, but it surprises me, because I know when I do have those injuries, what the mindset that I'm in is so difficult, and it's almost like a depression in a sense, because you're not on the field playing with your friends and teammates. But he comes in every day, and he's the same guy, and that's why, I love being around him.
That's why he's a great captain, right?
Yeah.
We've had this talk a lot, because Carlos has been out, and people, like you said, they don't know what they don't know, so they only watch the field, and everyone's a body language expert.
It's hard. People have their opinion, and it's like, he should be back. It's like, you have no idea what's going on the inside, or like, he should be putting for what, like, people just don't understand. So putting that stuff aside, I don't think it creeps into here at all. I only hear it when I'm like talking with someone else outside of our bubble.
Right.
They'll bring it up, and you're like, probably don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, and Max and I, we're here less, but we used to be here all the time.
Yeah.
People ask me, like, how's it different now? I'm like, it's weird doing this job because I feel like a fraud, because we used to be able to be here more, and we even only saw, 25%, right? And that's how we felt empowered to say some things that we used to say.
Sure.
Now that we're not here, I mean, how much do you think we really see when we see you guys in a game? Like 10% of what your actual work is during a week?
10%. I mean,
even if that.
it's the culmination of if you have one game away, it's a culmination of a lot of work put in throughout the week, whether it be video sessions after a game, before a game, the build up to each and every training session. We had a 4-day block last week that was so hard, and we pushed so hard. And, we were grateful to get guys back into training in a limited fashion, like the Tristans, who are huge contributors, like the Carloses that can come in and obviously change games. So, like, nobody, given, like you said, COVID and all the restrictions now, there's less people within this bubble to actually grasp what's going on. But believe me, everyone's working so hard. And, like I said, whether it be a successful season in 2019 when you're kind of nitpicking little details because we are having a lot of success, or it's a difficult season right now, and you're trying to fix a lot of different things because there's more problems.
I'll leave it at this, and you're going to have the next chapter. Is coaching something, or is maybe going to be up here? Because the reason I also want to bring it up, because you talk about the young players. I see you here with Cheeky. By the way, I'm at 10%. I'm at 10% for sure. You might be around 5%.
Just in general.
Just 10% with knowing where the team is at.
Wait, and you're saying I'm at 5? Oh, God.
He's at 7.5. But I see you and Mamadou, these are guys that you give a lot of guidance to.
Yeah, I think it's just, given the foundation that was laid in 2018, 19, and then even going into 2020, we got a lot of different guys contributing this year. And so it's about reinforcing those principles that have been set forth, from the beginning. And I'm a huge believer in the way we play. And, it's difficult because a lot of new guys, a lot of times guys pick up things from others on the field. But when you have essentially a lot of different guys in the starting 11, given injuries or whatever, it's hard to pick up those things. So it takes training, it takes a lot of guys reinforcing, it takes communication, but the principles are the main thing. And I really believe in the way we defend, attack, and it's just been difficult to lay those given that there's a lot of new guys and a lot of different lineups and injuries, like I said. So that's been the struggle. But I think week in, week out, like I said, the coaching staff, whether it be video individually or collectively, has really done a good job of focusing in on what is needed through that week. And that's what I try to do, is reinforce those and coach guys and, try to be a branch off of, what Bob does week in, week out and does so well.
The Bob tree.
Yeah. But when it comes,
just keep saying things that if he were to listen or watch this podcast, he's going to be like, that's another one on the list.
I'm sorry, Bob. I was just trying to get the conversation.
I said the LAFC way the other day, and I was like, oh God, I'm going to be in so much trouble.
No. I think there is a way we do things.
There is, but he doesn't like the pomp and circumstance surrounding saying the LAFC way, right?
Sure. But I think, from my perspective, in my career, having played with a bunch of different teams, had a ton of different coaches, this is a distinct way of playing that I really appreciate and I love and enjoy coming into and reinforcing and trying to do day in, day out. And it's different levels that you can get to. And so, it's been fun. And when you talk about coaching, I've definitely, it's something that I'm open to and looking towards. I don't know yet, though, because I love a lot of different aspects of this club and soccer, and so I'm exploring those right now. So
Are you a Ted Lasso guy?
I love Ted Lasso. Yeah,
he's like a much nicer Roy Kent.
I bet you he has a nice edge from time to time.
I've seen it, but we don't have to
I
talk
saw
about
it when you were talking about pizza. I owe you.
Well, pizza's something.
I don't think I'll be joining the older women's club and watching reality shows like he is in that movie.
Well, he's just trying out new things. You try out some stuff. I mean, I don't know. Your old teammate Benny's getting his coaching badges. Maybe one day we see a Jordan Harvey versus Benny Failhaber team. That could be kind of cool.
I'll tell you what, I would crush Benny.
Yes! That's the Jordan Harvey Roy Kent we need.
I love it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, you were one of the first people that I asked to have on because you're so expressive and you can kind of share all these different avenues
great.
of the club.
Awesome insight.
I thought we were going to talk a lot more about stuff off the field. And
what would you like to talk about?
I mean, you guys aren't around as often, so we don't have as many inside jokes and stuff.
No.
Like,
Oh, I know.
We don't have any more
No.
staff games where I
No
chip
staff
my
games.
tooth.
Oh yeah, you used to be an avid watcher of our staff
I
games.
love the staff games. I always place bets on the over/under, how many people are going to get injured.
And I've told this story on the pod before, but I will tell. Actually, I think I told it on your pod. I'll tell it on this pod. The day you came out, we were watching, and they had me switch teams, and the coaches go, "Hey, we've got our own Jordan Harvey," and Jordan goes, "Oh, I don't know, guys." And I'm like, "What? I'm right here, guys. Like, I can hear you guys talking right here." And I went out and scored a goal.
We got to fire up the calendar.
Pointed, and Jordan was like, "See,
I'll take
Jordan
it.
Harvey. I'll take it."
Well done.
We asked about food, and we talked. I mean, I saw you guys were at Disney, and I asked, and was it busy? And that's
Disneyland, new Star Wars. You know, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
It was my daughter's 6th birthday. We did a Teen Beach 2 theme, which
Ooh.
was pretty
That
special.
sounds fun.
And,
Happy birthday. Well, that's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, 6.
What a great family.
How old am I? I have a 6-year-old.
Don't even start.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Well,
even
can I
start
just
with
say
that
this, please?
conversation.
Well, I go
here.
into a locker room with 15-year-olds,
Well,
so
please-
that makes me feel old.
Please never retire, because when you do, I will now be older than every single person on the LAFC roster.
Oh, wow. I've been the oldest guy for like the last 3 years, so I don't even care.
Yeah.
And it stinks because on the bus you can't put your music on because they want to listen.
I'll tell you what, the music these days in this locker room, it's tough, and I blame.
Yeah, I would thought you were gonna turn and go. Oh my.
No, it's
Any
tough.
sentence that says, "I'll tell you what, the music these days is going to be good."
Yes.
It's all the same music every time.
It's just one song.
Songs.
It's one song
over
playing
and
for 24
over.
hours.
And I blame. You know who I blame for this? And this is
Spill
you
it.
heard it here first, and I'll tell him right when I walk in. It's Chicho. And he doesn't shy away from it. And the problem that I have, and I sound like I'm this old guy going on a rant, is that he'll put it on in the locker room and then just walk to the weight room and just leave it on. And I'm like, I put on the TV, try to watch like some football in the morning or whatever, and just leave. And then I have to go over, I turn it off, and then he comes back like from the bathroom or something. He comes back, it's like
We'll
old
ask him
man
about
stuff.
this. Yeah.
I'm frustrated. It's all right.
It's like some Ecuadorian cumbia, which is okay in small doses.
I like
Yeah, but it's the same 4 songs on repeat. I mean, let's have some variety. Let's do something else, you know?
Just
Well,
blast his ears out with some Van
What we
Halen.
need to do is have a day where like I get Mondays, he gets Tuesdays, we get like fall gets Wednesdays, then we move it on, and so I can get maybe a country fix in or something, Latif can get his whatever he listens to.
Wale.
That moves his
Just
hit.
Wale.
Yeah, there you go. You know who like Carlos? I think he's into like. He can get some like Elvis and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Randomly.
Yeah,
right?
but like
You
some
would
good
never know.
vocalists like a Luis Miguel, which in the background, it gets the job done. If
Yeah.
you're kind of in a chill mood in the locker room.
Well, we need a day where you come back and we will talk about not soccer at all, because you guys are in the midst of, like we said, a playoff run. These 6
Yeah.
games, we really got to go hard for this.
important.
That's why we had to
If
talk
we
a
don't
little
get
bit about
the
it.
points,
It's
they'll
important.
blame our
But I think
lighthearted interview.
important.
After the
Yeah.
season, because we need to stay current, Max, you need to give a little more than 10%. Let's have Jordan back.
Okay.
We'll just talk about. We'll just spill.
I will also say
Love
Jordan
that.
set it at what, 14 points
Yeah.
in the last to win 4 games.
Yeah,
4 out of
I
6.
think 3 need some help.
Do you do a lot of? Is there a lot of scoreboard watching? I'm curious. If everyone's like, "Hey, they lost," or no?
Right now, because we need to know.
Yes.
I think we look at it. Is it a definitive? Like things happen. So 2 games from now, maybe we're saying something different. But right now, it seems like that.
Yeah. Because I changed the channel at home really quick to Colorado, Minnesota over the weekend. My wife's like, "What
Sure.
the heck? Of all the sports is going on, it was going on right when the U.S. team was on. I switched to Colorado, Minnesota."
Yeah. So I definitely check the scores afterwards, as does most people, I think.
I'll be here. Focus on this. But you're, oh,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you gotta do some scoreboard watching at this point.
yeah.
I just love that we've had many chances to wrap this up, like on
I know.
good notes, and Max just keeps
Oh,
dragging
this'll be-
it.
You did it too. You
No,
did
this
it
will
too,
be
pal.
edited. All this garbage will be edited out. It's my fault.
We don't edit anything.
No, we don't edit anything. That's why the people love us. We don't edit anything.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. Good seeing you, Jordan, as always. We'll keep appearances up a little bit more frequently.
Yeah, and like I said before, if you do this at the training center, it needs to be the 7-10 football.
Well,
show.
maybe you should come into our Burbank studio, which you
Burbank
got-
studio.
yeah.
I used to
That's
live
the
right
5.
there.
You used to live right by there, but I showed you pictures of it at LAFC Media Day. It's gotten even better, so maybe you
guys
should
are
come in and hang out.
Big time with the
Listen,
studio.
Yes. By the way, I
Be
just had
careful,
a dismount
careful with
I had a dismount for the interview, and you asked another question.
I know.
All right, so don't throw it on me.
Well, you could just cut it any time. Then Jordan and I are going to still chat.
All right, should I leave?
Yeah.
Let's have a
It is.
seat.
No, it's really nice. Come in there.
Come on in.
Why didn't we do it there? I don't understand.
Because it's Burbank and it's
Yeah, because
far.
it's easier to get you guys here.
Not from here for me.
Well, after the season, we'll have you in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You heard it here first. Jordan Harvey's coming into the studio.
Welcome back to Inside LAFC, the Max and Vint podcast. Very thrilled to, I know I marbled that up, very thrilled to be here
Just
with
keep going.
Jamal Blackman, new number 1 here. Literally, he's got the number 1 on his shirt, which is great for a goalkeeper.
We found out right now that he's number 1 in ping pong. Is this true?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh. Well, we will say this, and I just found out that you're living in Koreatown. You haven't had Korean barbecue yet.
No, I've never had it before, so I'm looking forward to trying it. Something new.
So just so you know,
Wait,
it's
hold on.
all.
Just before he goes a little bit farther, I can't teach you many things, but got to hold the mic a little bit closer.
Yep.
There you go.
Wow, nice. That's nice.
Well,
nice
no,
heads
now
up.
he's going to school me on football, but I.
Yeah, there's very different. There's you can go to places they have steak, and there's other ones that have pork. It's gonna rock and roll. Make sure you drink a lot of water because there's a lot of salt on it.
Yeah, the food.
I'll
is,
make sure.
Well, what type of things are you eating then? Are you just eating here?
Normally, yeah, we get quite a lot of food here, so
Okay.
the food is really good here. And obviously in LA, there's quite a good variety of food, so I'm quite lucky to be able to go and try a few things.
Do you have anything like what's been your favorite so far?
Seafood, I love
Oh, yeah?
crab legs, lobster legs, stuff like that. So
Nice.
that's quite good.
Koreatown's a good place to be for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, the boiling crab there as well. So you have some. Have you tried that one out?
Nah, not yet.
No free advertising. No free advertising.
Yeah, we're looking for sponsors.
This is a very exciting time. I had a chance to speak with you for somebody that's going to come out on our broadcast in a little bit. And I know we were talking rivalries because you played the Galaxy game and had some time here when you, just to give some background, started with Chelsea and there were some tours here that you were part of. So you're familiar here with the United States. You've had a chance to visit here on a few occasions.
Yeah, been here a few times. Played in the International Cup a few times with Chelsea. Travelled with them, so we've been quite lucky. We studied at UCLA, so kind of knew the area a little bit, and everyone's really welcoming as well here. So it's quite easy. Everyone tells you where to go and where's the best places.
Do you know why you stayed at UCLA? And you're obviously under Jose Mourinho's watch at some point.
He loves
UCLA. Ask him when you see him next
Yeah,
time.
he loves UCLA
Yeah.
for some reason.
It's nice. I think he likes because it's snugged away there. But I remember I did an interview with Manchester United. He was here with the Manchester United. I asked him about that, and he goes, "I love UCLA. It's great. I just like it. I'm comfortable." That's a terrible Mourinho impression, but that's what it was like.
Well, we should have him rate it. How was
Yeah.
this, Jose?
It weren't too bad. I'll give you that.
Yes.
A bit slower,
I
a bit more
yes,
chilled.
I go better. I like Long Beach pizza, preferably one slice, not the whole pie. Is that better?
No comment. No comment.
Yikes!
No comment.
comment.
Crushed it.
Can I say this is my first time getting to meet you? It's a pleasure to meet you. Just from the outside, we've been talking a lot about a lot of people on the outside because of COVID, a lot of bubble. Not as many people are around training as usual. But just from the outside, we were in Portland, and I got to see you just kind of out there taking some warm ups, being out there, being with the team. Just a very easy way of being with your team and teammates already. Where does that come from? It seems like you've already kind of embedded yourself very quickly.
Well, I've been quite fortunate here. Everyone's been really welcoming. Everyone's integrated really quickly with me as well. I've been quite lucky to go to quite a few different teams, so I'm kind of used to going to new teams and meeting new people. And I think it's the best way just to be open-minded and just to embrace everyone the same way, and I think they embrace you that way as well.
Is there a different way for each team you've found, or do you just kind of go the same? Because like you said, you've been lucky to kind of go through some different teams.
Yeah, I think I've been quite lucky where I'm quite a chilled person anyway, so I think meeting people is quite easy for me. I like talking to people, like finding out about people, so it's been quite good. Everyone's got different backgrounds, different upbringing, so it's always good to learn new things.
If I could expand on that, because when I spoke to you last time, I said, "Hey, can you list all the clubs you play for?" And you did it like this. And it's an interesting journey because it's now the United States, England. You've been to the Scandinavian countries as well. How does that, when you look at that, you build yourself as a professional because you're always trying to take that next step to become a full pro when you're a young man, to be able to say, I've had these experiences and now I can lean into them. How often do you lean into those?
I think you do it every day. You always see something different. That's what I love about football. Football's always different every day. You never get the same thing. And I think being able to take that experience where you've been to different clubs, you've tried different pitches, different balls, everything is different. You just take it on, and I think as a player you build that up, and that brings you and brings out what kind of player you are and your personality. And I think that's the best way to be, where you are able to adapt, which you have to do in any games. So I think that's more important.
So the obvious question where we find ourselves now with LAFC is 6 matches to go. It's to get into the playoffs. You come from a very different system. Obviously, there's the relegation, there's promotion. I'm sure you've been kind of a part of those, both sides of those, where you've felt the pressure. How is it different?
I think in every game there's always pressure. I think you go into every game wanting to win and do your best. So I think it's not so much of a difference. It's more just the mindset of, you know, that there's games coming up and there's such a fine line of winning and losing in football. So I think going into each game, you always think you need to get that win. You need to do your best. You need to be able to show the fans that you care about the team. And obviously getting to the playoffs is such a big thing where there's such a good club, you know you need to be in the playoffs. I think it's important that everyone sees that we're all together trying to achieve that.
As a new guy, I'm not sure what that locker room's like. I'm sure there's not a lot of guys giving speeches, but are you able to kind of articulate that at all? Are you more kind of sit back as a newer guy? What kind of things are you saying to these guys?
I obviously just take everything in. I'm still quite new. I'm still trying to enforce the way I play and show everyone how I am. But I think where I am quite a chilled person, I think seeing people and obviously going into a game, you step over the line, I think that's when everything changes. You literally switch on and you know what everyone's main goal is. We're all here to win and try and get to the playoffs. So I think once you step over the line, that's more where I become more vocal. That's more my thing. Whereas in the change room, I like to hear what everyone's saying, see how everyone's reacting, and just going into each game.
You are the most experienced keeper here. Even though you're new to the club, you have had an incredible experience from Chelsea on, as we mentioned, all the clubs. Pablo Cisniega, Tomas Romero are in diapers in this goalkeeping career. You're still a very young man, but these guys are just getting started. This has been, an up and down run for them. How has that interactions been with them? How have you guys supported each other in different ways? How they've supported you?
They've been really welcoming. Like, as soon as I got here, helped me straight away. Both Thomas and Pablo have been really good. And Zeki as well, he's been really pushing me and obviously showing me his different styles as well. Obviously being international and being with good goalkeepers as well. So I've been quite lucky where everyone's been pushing each other, trying to help each other to obviously still grow, as we're all still quite young, so we're all learning off each other, seeing our weaknesses and trying to help each other improve that. So I think that's a good thing. And
some goalkeepers that you've been able to see, obviously Peter Cech. Was Ramsdale at United when you were there? Or
no, he literally just left when I got there. So he left and then came back after me.
But looking at some of those, so specifically Chelsea, that sort of tutelage that you've been able to get and to pass it on, how important is that?
I think, yes, working with different people, you see how everyone works. Like I said, you learn about different people. I worked with Petr Cech and Courtois for quite a long time, and you see how big professionals they both are. Completely different people, different players, different ways of doing things. But at the end of the day, the end goal is keeping the ball out of the back of the net. So that's the main thing, and they do that great.
Can you give us a little more insight? Because it's rare that we get a chance to really talk with a goalkeeper, and I feel like it's the last thing that we've learned about. Like, pundits can break down a lot of stuff, but goalkeepers, they have no clue about. I believe that, and I include myself in that. But how because I've talked to Pablo and just how kind of the way he was raised in Spain to keep goals different than the way Zaki wants him to. Can you kind of parse through how you were kind of raised in England and how Zaki's kind of asking you to change your game?
Yeah, I'd say growing up, coming through the academy, we had quite a lot of English goalkeeping coaches, so I was brought up in the English way, and then going into the first team, I was really close with Christophe Lonenchal, he's a French goalkeeping coach. He brought Petr Cech in and brought Courtois in, and learning his way as well, I had to adapt.
What's the English, like what is, like, just one or two things that maybe are slightly different, English to French or even to Zaki?
I say with the English, you are quite to the book, you know everything has to be in a certain way, and I feel like you learn that as a child. You growing up, you learn the basics, and that's the main things: catching the ball and obviously footwork and how important they are. And then as you go into other countries where you go more of a spread and you're trying to be more attacking and be a bit more commanding, and then obviously you learn about the Neuer way of being more of a sweeper keeper and stuff like that. So I think you learn from different cultures, different things, and where I've been brought up with a lot of different goalkeeping coaches, I've learned from each of them different things. And I think one of the coaches always told me, at the end of the day, you're the one that's playing and you have to decide what works for you. And I think that's where you kind of learn as a goalkeeper. Even though it works for someone else, it might not work for you. So you have to learn and know what your best attributes are and take that into the games, which is the hardest thing.
2 minutes, I've learned more about goalkeeping than I think in my entire life. Just 2 minutes with this
It's
guy.
instilled, but you've got to decipher it in your way. You've got to absorb all that and see, okay, this is what makes me comfortable. This is what's going to make me keep the ball out of the back of the net. By the way, English goalkeepers, still now, but back in the day, you had David Seaman, David James. They were like the coolest guys on the field all the time.
Who was your go-to? Who's the guy that you had posters on your wall?
To be fair, I started out on field, so I didn't really have goalkeepers, and then I started seeing Dida and people saying that was so
Dida's a good one. I like that.
kind of grew up watching him a little bit, and then obviously David James, so that was kind of my culture growing up.
Fantastic. Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you play. Obviously, the big stretch here and a little bit of a recharge here for this week coming up. But again, as we said before, welcome to the club. Welcome to Los Angeles. Hopefully, we'll do this a few more times.
Well, we need to, because we do need to learn a lot more about goalkeepers, and there's a lot more nuance that we need.
We're very lucky here.
Yeah,
we got
we're lucky.
3 good ones, and we got Zach Abdo.
I'm still learning as it is, so yeah.
That's a great you say that.
We'll
I'm still learning.
we'll
I'm
all sit in
almost
there
50.
together with our notebooks.
Much more here inside LAFC, the Max and Vince podcast. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and of course download and share.
Oh, yes! They knocked on the door.